Good morning. We are starting the day off. We got a little bit of rain overnight. You can see some of the driveways got some puddles in it. We got about 1/10 of an inch, so enough to keep us out of the field for today. Probably could have planted yesterday, but being Easter, we didn't. So we will get going here on Wednesday and Thursday, I think. But for today, we're starting out. I gotta go through check the tires on this trailer and on the truck. We got 2 head of cattle going to the local auction yard. We had no beef customers this month, so to the auction yard they go, which is fine because they're bringing the same amount at the auction yard as what we sell for direct to consumer. So I made a little switch panel for the tractor to replace that nightlight one that started going bad the other day. So we're just gonna have 3 toggle switches like this, simple yet effective and reliable, and then we're gonna have this little panel in the tractor. So I've got this switch. I've got the switch that I used in there the other day, and then Dad's getting me a 3rd one. Soon it'll just look like that. Not as sleek and professional looking as the nightlight one, but this one will at least actually work for more than 20 acres. So that's coming later today. Dad's going to grab that switch, and then I'm going to work on getting that seed tender hooked up now, I think. Alright, so this is where most of our day is going to get spent, I think. For one, this tractor has not been through the shop yet, so it needs an oil change. It needs full filter change, and then we'll check the hydraulic oil, but the hydraulic oil should be good because Dad just used it a couple days ago. This tractor has a questionable knock every now and then. My best guess is it's the hydraulic pump, but I don't know yet. The hydraulic pump is still functional, so we ran out of time this spring. We were going to pull it in and do heavy diagnosis and unhook the coupler and see if the knock goes away, but we didn't have time to do that, so now we are just running it for now. So if it goes out in season, I know where to get a pump for about $1,000, and we can bring it and replace it. We just didn't want to replace it prematurely. Next thing is I have one wheel. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of years ago we had where it seemed like the tie rods were bad on absolutely everything. This wheel's straight. This wheel is towed out just a hair. Yeah, it looks like it's towed out just a little bit. So we got to tow that in, adjust that a little. Had the same issue on the 4960 this spring. Looks like we still got threads left, so we should be able to correct that. And then I have that marine battery on the back of my truck for the seed tender. That just goes on that little rack there. Has bungee cord that holds it down. We're going to eliminate these because I was really stupid the day I put the battery on and completely oblivious to the fact that it's got studs with wing nuts on it for little stuff. I don't know how I managed to miss something like that, but I did. So we're going to eliminate them. It turns out I don't have any filters, so I got to run uptown and get filters. If I would have realized that this tractor, or if I would have remembered that this tractor hasn't been through the shop, could have had Dad stop because he was just there about an hour ago. So I got to run up there now and get them, but I'll be back in a little bit. Just got the oil changed the oil filter, which is in that there. It's a cartridge filter. And then I just changed the hydraulic filter, which is in that back there. That's also a cartridge. We just got the 2 fuel filters left. Let me tell you one thing. This tractor is cheap to maintain compared to a lot of the other ones out there. For the filters, it was $58. And it took 2 gallons of oil so far. It'll take another ½ gallon, I think, after it runs to fill the filter. So that's like $35 in oil. Yeah, $35 in oil. Our oil is like $14 a gallon, I think, that Shell Rotella. So cheap tractor to keep running, and it keeps running. We're gonna replace these filters. I don't remember if you guys shut the fuel off or not. I think I do. There's a valve on the bottom of the tank, I think. So simple, just 2 spin-ons. Some people like changing these over to the square clip-on filters. I like these filters better, in my opinion, especially 2 years ago when you couldn't get those little square filters. It took 2 years for those square filters to come back into stock at Wix. We ended up having to switch to CarQuest for 2 years because we just could not get the filters anymore.
Checking out the new additions. Get him, Greta. Get him. Get him, Greta. Bite his ear. Get his ear. Checking out the new babies. Hey, Jada.
I just got the battery installed and all the tires checked. I think I put 35 pounds in them when they were in the shop. I decided today to bump them all up to 45 pounds just so they go down the road a little nicer. But so the tender itself is ready. Tractor's not yet, but I was out in the lean-to and the 5-gallon bucket that I put under the drip in the corn planter is almost full. So I'm going to swap that out with an empty, and then we'll dump them back in when we're ready to go to the field. There's not much left in these tanks on this side. This tank is pretty much empty. It's pretty much just what's in the line. That tank is the lowest point now, so it's all pushed to the front. So that drip should quit before that bucket fills up, I think. So we'll see. The plan is to turn the 2x2 up 1 more PSI, and then that is getting cranked like 5 or 6 PSI, because that's got more in it than what should be. There's about 25 gallons in there. Alright, seed tender's all done. It's tucked away over by the seed barn, so when we are ready to roll, we just got to dump seed in it and take it out to the field. Now I'm going to get this switch box installed. I got to move this one switch from the middle over, because the one that is currently hooked up in the tractor, I don't need to unhook, but it goes in the middle slot. That's the one that went bad. And the in-furrow one actually is starting to go bad. It won't shut off. It'll only stay on. So I started using the one on the motor controller. I think I told you guys that already, but we'll get the right thing to tighten these things into the bracket. And I've got my wiring stuff here. Man, it is so breezy out there. It's crazy, but we got our switch panel installed. Can't flip the switches right now because it would actually turn everything on, but there they are. We had to just cap off our 12-volt hot back there because there's no need for it now, but ready to rock and roll. So it's set up the same as the other one was, left 2x2, right 2x2, and then this is the main power for the in-furrow. So if that's off, I can flip this on. That doesn't come on unless I were to flip that switch on. So this switch is the one that stays on all the time, and then you just end up controlling it with this one, so that you can just reach over here, flip all 3 up, flip all 3 down. Simple as that. That T that is on the planter that's leaking, I called our local John Deere dealer. They have the T, the gaskets, and they had one of the nuts. So we're going to hopefully be able to salvage one of the old ones. They're bringing it up to our parts drop-off shed tomorrow. So we will be able to work on that tomorrow. And hopefully get that leak tidied up on the planter, and then we'll be real golden. Out on a test drive, but also checking the wheat. This is rye here. It's pretty tall now. Shoot, it's probably 6-8 inches tall. Oh wow, look at this wheat. We haven't done any nitrogen on the rye yet, just keep in mind. We're gonna run that pass with the wheat pass. Which, look at that wheat. Holy smokes. The wheat looks beautiful. The 28 and sugar woke her up. Spots where I drove her behind, but that's to be expected. Man, it looks good. I gotta go look at the other fields. These ones. That is some beautiful wheat. That wheat's about 5-6 inches tall, maybe. I just got the coolant topped off. It took 4 gallons to get this thing filled back up, so we'll see what it's like when we're done. It really hasn't been used that much, and there's no coolant on the ground anywhere, so we'll figure that out. But it's 7:15. We're gonna head out, get this field fitted up, and then come back, and we got plenty of other stuff to do. Alright, we went a little ways, and we're gonna do a depth check. It looks like this wing needs to be rephased again. There's no way to do that, unfortunately, in the field. So if it's close, we're gonna let her ride. So we got down to the first hard pan, or down to the bottom of the tillage pass. We're at about 2 inches, so that's pretty decent there. We can overlap that, that's fine. And then over on this side, we're probably gonna be about the same, it looks like. And maybe a little deeper. There's a disc ridge right there, looks like. So once it's, check it behind the crumbler and see where it's leveled off at. That's a nice seed bed there. I'm not usually too impressed with this thing, but lately I have been. There's the bottom. Yeah, about 2 inches. So that's where I like it. 2 inches, it'll mellow out maybe 1 3/4 inches, and then we're planting it 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches to 2. That's a new hole. That wasn't there when we harvested. Jeez, that thing's huge. Big tile blowout. Jeez. Oh, we almost made it, and I think we just blew the head gasket again. I've got steam coming into the cab, so I'm guessing it's some on the back firewall there coming right up through. Coming in from everywhere. Jeez, oh Pete's. Got it coming out the overflow. We're in the red as far as temp goes. We were doing good too. Jeez, oh Pete's. I might be just pulling it from the overflow. Oh shoot. No, we might have just blew a heater hose. Shoot, shoot, shoot. I'm betting we just blew a heater hose behind that pan there. Ah! So close to being done too. So flippin' close. Well,
guess we gotta let her cool down, and then we gotta get up to Dad's house is up there. We gotta get up there, and that way we got access to the hose to fill it back up, and then we gotta go get tools. Perfect! That's what we wanted today was a problem. It was going too smooth anyway. It is surprisingly dry. You guys saw that tile hole. This field has got some really crappy tile in it, and the tile just keeps blowing out. And I can tell exactly where the tile's at and where it dumps into this county drain here, because there is about 15 foot long, and it goes all the way across the field, and it's just wet as soon as you get into it. And then you just start kicking up dust on that side, and you kick up dust on this side. This corner is historically wet, so can't judge the field on this corner. But this is kind of interesting over here. Consumers Energy is making an artificial wetland over here because I'm guessing they tore one up with one of their gas lines. Cool. So they own the back third of this because we sold it to them back in the day for some reason. We want to buy it back, but I don't think they're letting any land go. But yeah, Consumers is building a wetland over there. This county drain, which looks like the county needs to clean because water ain't running, and it's a mess. That's water management for you. Yeah. Supposedly the county drain goes all the way halfway down this field. That's what there's like a tile riser down there. I think that's what that is where it starts. But it's blown out over there, and it flooded this back 15 acres. There was no beans in it last year. We got a 4-inch rain, and it flooded this entire half of the field. I was ticked when it came to combining because 15 acres will break you if there's no beans. So there's this here. That's probably one of the spots where there's an outlet. And that tree, I'm betting you. Nobody believed in clearing trees before you put a tile in. I don't know why. There's a hole there. And I can see it whirlpooling. So I'm betting there's an outlet around here somewhere. This ditch has got to get cleaned. And yes, I can guarantee this is a county drain because I looked it up online one time. And it's labeled as a county drain all the way out into the field. But that wet hole's up here farther, so let's walk up here. Tile work is something I want on the docket here in the next couple years. I'm saving for a mini excavator, and then after that, a tile plow. Obviously, a tractor to pull it is one of our issues at the meantime. Yeah, look, here's where all our topsoil went. It's all washed out into the creek. There's another hole just like it, and I can see the pipe right there. So there's a tile outlet there, and it goes out, and I'm betting that's the county drain because the ditch ends. There's kind of an artificial ditch going that way, but the tile is running at the moment, but it's not going to be going anywhere. That's all broken clay fragments right there. So it's just, at some point there was enough pressure to push out and just make a sediment area right there. That's disappointing. All right, we're up to the house now. I think we're just going to cut those heater hoses up by the block and cap them off because, let's face it, this tractor's never going to need the heat ever again. Looks like they got the autonomous lawnmower out for the first time. So that's good. Coolant is dripping down onto this fuel tank from somewhere way up in the corner there. So when Dad gets here, it's going to be one of these two lines here. So we'll probably just cut them both off and put caps on them. We got that ground worked. Now I'm getting this area cleared out here around the mixing area. We're going to go out and do some burn down. So getting cleaned up. I ended up forgetting to drain that 75 gallons of 28. So I got to do that yet. So we're going to do that when we get around here. And then start getting our loads laid out. And we got to put some water in, run some tests, change some nozzles, a bunch of different stuff like that. So we'll get that stuff going. And then hopefully we can do some spraying. And I think Dad might work on the planter. I don't know what he's doing, but then maybe plant tonight and might plant late and get that 24 acres done so we can get started on the 70 right away tomorrow, because there's a 10th rain at 4 in the afternoon and then a 10th rain at 6. We just got one done going through the sprayer, changed all the tips, went through, ran some water through it, had some issues with some, replaced a nozzle body, one of the ones that was giving us fits with 28, and then had to clean quite a few of them. So now I gotta run over to the shop and grab a battery charger and a battery to run this tote pump on the glyphosate, and then we will get started loading. We need 3 bags of AMS, 15¼ gallons of glyphosate, and 7½ gallons of 2,4-D. So easy mix, easy peasy. Once we're set up, it won't take long at all. We'll see if we have enough water to start filling now. There's about 1,000 gallons in there before I ran the test amount. We need 915 gallons for our little spray load adventure today. So we'll see if we can get started, and if we run out, we run out. But I took 150 gallons. We were over there for 30 minutes probably, so we should be pretty dang close to full again. We are in the middle of our second field. We're 15 acres into this 18 acres, and I've done one 25-acre field before this already, and we have one more 18-acre field to go. Now we added additive in here for this last 3 acres, and then also the next 18 acres, and that's Wex by Conklin. This is their oldest product in the book. It's the first product that's ever been Vex PFR proven. We're giving it a shot. We're running at 1 quart per acre, and you can see all of that there. Makes water wetter, promotes uniform spreading, causes greater saturation, reduces foaming, aids herbicidal weed control, enhances insecticides, speeds moisture penetration, and assists in suspension of wettable powders. And then it also is a soil amendment when it's done at 1 quart. I'm not sure what exactly that looks like, but I've been told you can see a visible difference in your dirt after a couple of years of doing this. So we're running this in this load. It's supposed to really help make Roundup work a lot better too, so that's what I'm mainly looking for. We are going to use it on half of our cover crop termination. Our cover crop termination will consist of probably 1/2 of that 60-acre field, or 70 acres, being Roundup and Enlist, 1 quart and 1 quart, 1 quart and 1 quart, and then the other half will be 1.5 quart of Roundup with 1 quart of Wex, and we're going to see what does a better job with a kill. And obviously the Wex and the Roundup is going to be the cheaper option between the two. We got that burn down done, checked off the list. I'm going over here because I think I left my coffee in the chemical shack, and I'll check off the load in my log so that it shows that it got done. And then I'm gonna go put that T on the planter, and Dad's taking the skid loader home, so we'll be able to start planting tomorrow, hopefully. We should have ran enough water through it already. There was about 300 gallons that went through the inductor and all this, but we are going to put some wipeout in that inductor and agitate it up and flush it and run a bunch of water through this hose so that we're not putting Roundup and 2,4-D residual in our 2x2. It's probably not a big deal. It's not going to be enough to cause a problem, and it's going to be surface applied. So yeah, it's probably not a big deal. But I was told because we plant Enlist soybeans, there's no plant back restrictions on the 2,4-D. So hopefully that's the case. Otherwise, there's 7-day plant back. It doesn't look like we're going to get to any of the fields that I sprayed tonight. Anyway, tomorrow. So this all worked good. The flow meters pretty much calibrated it with 15. It was on the dot at 5, so I ended up just opening the valve and letting it induct, and then I went to 15 1/4 on the flow meter. Pretty cool, pretty cool. It automatically turns on, it automatically turns off. We got it hooked to a battery here, and battery maintainer, which I'm gonna unplug right now. Closing this stuff up. Oh, the inductor does not work with this, or it doesn't work for AMS with the screen on the end of it. So, learn something new every day, I guess. Get all this stuff closed up. So what I bought for parts, these are just compression fittings. So I bought the gasket for each side. This side's obviously not leaking. I'm thinking if I can get it to where I can get this gasket out, we'll just replace this gasket. I can't tell. The nut appears to be in good shape, so I don't think it's the nut. It's gonna be the gasket, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just gonna replace the gasket. That way I have an extra T on hand in case something actually happens with another T. And I also have another nut as well as another gasket in case we run into issues. So we'll see. Anyway, if it doesn't fix the leak, we gotta take it back apart. No big deal. Well, I didn't get a chance to show it apart because my hands were covered in fertilizer, but there it is put back together. New gasket in on this side. This side we had to take apart just to get to everything. We were able to slide all these two tanks a little bit. You ended up with enough down here that elbow was completely bottomed out, but it came apart enough. So now I'll put these saddles back on and these straps, and hopefully, cross our fingers, it doesn't leak tomorrow when we put fertilizer in it. With that, I'm heading up to the house. My hands are stickier than sticky from fertilizer and all sorts of stuff. We're going 28, cleaning out the sprayer. My face is sticky. I am gonna go get cleaned up, get something to eat, and hopefully everything is ready to get planting tomorrow. We've got from anytime we start in the morning till, I'm gonna say 5 o'clock. I think we'll be able to plant through the first storm, and then hopefully we can get that 70 done tomorrow. So if you like this video, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.